Hey everybody, welcome to the day after Genoa or the day after Ham because Genoa be hamming some days, but this one's going to be a little bit of an interesting one. We've got some things to be frustrated about, some things kind of really not to be too optimistic or positive about. Besides just a trio of folk, and the sky is blue and Doosan misses another sitter. I mean, what else is new there? But here to kind of just sit down with me, have a conversation, and just recap our thoughts and our things is Dave. How are you, Dave?
The sky was blue today. It was beautiful. Made me a little bit cheery as I tried to forget Davide fucking Massa.
I know anybody named Dave is a fucking dirtbag. Oh, hey, what's up, buddy?
Oh man, doing this podcast again is reminding me of everything that happened all over again. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't a pretty match. So I like to say I'm excited. I am excited because I'm on holidays and I get to do a bunch of cool stuff with the channel now on the background, all that stuff. But this 1-1 draw really puts a damper on the whole situation. So we shall get into it.
Go for it. I know you want to.
Oh, you want me to rip? You just want me to?
I say rip. Well, the irony of it is the last match that Davide did was Inter Napoli, and that was a match of officiating travesty. And then
yes,
I thought he was suspended from top flight footy, or was he suspended from just Inter matches or Inter Napoli matches or something?
Man, I don't recall. Maybe we can try to find that on the fly.
Well, there was something. We might have to.
Yeah, we'll have to look into that. I know
you talk. I'll look into it because you're the one that's got more of the stuff on Mr. Massa.
Sounds like a deal. Okay, I hate this guy. Just straight up. Let's not put the rose tinted glasses on. Whenever this guy comes up, and to be fair, a lot of our officiating in the past few matches haven't been that bad, and sometimes I see a name pop up. I'm like, oh, I don't know, and then it turns out to be okay. So I was caught a little bit off guard. I saw Davide Massa was officiating. I'm like, you know what? Maybe not so bad. Maybe not so bad. And it didn't start off so bad. It was a fucking travesty. It just completely disintegrated into chaos. And where was VAR? Why do we pay for the VAR guys? We throw 3 of those assholes in that room. What are they doing?
Circle jerking.
Like their one job is to look for handballs in the box. And what do? Didn't see a blatant handball in the box. And then what happened there a few weeks ago? No, it was last weekend. Lukaku with that red card. Coming through with studs. Instantly kicked off the pitch. Malinovsky, pretty boy from the Ukraine. I don't know, I guess because you're Ukrainian, you can't do shit these days, right? You can't hate on the Ukrainians. Is it political? I don't fucking know. But studs the fuck up right through. It happened on Israeli, so I don't know what political tomfuckery is going on right there, but whatever the fuck it was, Davide goddamn Massa, you're a piece of shit. Call that. Malinowski, you're a piece of shit for doing that.
I think the funny thing about that was he got the ball after he studded the shit out of Yildiz.
Mm-hmm. You find out?
Oh, yeah. No. He was officially backed after his poor calls against the Inter Napoli match. Davide Massa was full support and backing of Serie A.
It's a joke.
The interesting thing about him is he's had poor calls in the Roma derby. He had poor calls in Milan matches. This guy has an absolute track record of poor officiating. And look,
he's the worst,
for me,
absolute worst.
For me, this is my argument. I'm always going to say this. Great teams find a way to overcome it, right? And we did.
We'll get into that.
No, this isn't like, for example, look, I'm going to make this clear before someone starts commenting and being like, oh, you guys are bitching victim mentality. Guys, we're just calling what we've seen from the referees. In my opinion, yes, the referee and the officiating was shit, But I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh yeah, we lost because of or we tied because of the referees." No, 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 no.
No,
That's
but
not,
because UEFA and all those assholes want to copyright strike the fuck out of us for using a second of their material, we're starting off with this, so hopefully they listen. Because you suck at your job.
yeah.
Straight up, you suck at your job and you need to do better. How much do you get paid? Give it back. Oh, that's right, you're UEFA. You're all about stealing the money, not giving it to the people that deserve it. Fucking travesty.
It's poor because the idea is where's the consistency in calls? Like, for example, if I flick Dave and I get a yellow card and then Dave flicks me and he gets a warning, that's very frustrating because that's not a consistent calling where it's like Genoa flopping around or doing hard tackles, warnings, Juventus players by looking at the referee funny, yellow card. The McKennie instance, how that was dissent and gave him a yellow card, I thought that was extremely stupid in my opinion. But look, when you're an official, you have to be consistent in your calls, man. Like, I guess, sure, the first Genoa goal, you can argue because it hit him up here, whether or not it's a handball or not. I'm not an expert on what they're throwing on as the rules nowadays because the handball rule changes like the fucking weather. However, when you have a guy who sticks his hand out in an unnatural position, causing a major trajectory change where the keeper didn't even touch that, really. And you mean VAR doesn't sit there and say, hey, something's not right here?
Like, didn't even take a look.
Well, that's the issue, right? None of these, we've had instances where we've had clear, obvious goals sit and you'll see VAR, pending VAR review, where it's like, you look at that and it's like, that's not warranting a look at all.
This is exactly the point I've championed for VAR, is these situations here. When there's a clear and obvious mistake by the ref from a call in the box, handball, a stud up, slide, whatever it may be, to intervene, because it's impossible for the ref to see everything. Benefit of the doubt, maybe he misses something. VAR is there, you have 3 dudes with TV screens all around them. That is what you're there for. And I'm not trying to play the victim here, because it happened to Juve. There's been times where the call has gone the other way when it was dumb, and I said it was dumb. I'll call it for both sides. This isn't me trying to play one way or the other. Because we again saw last weekend, studs up through the ankles, immediately thrown off the pitch. And now we don't see the exact same thing from a guy that has a track record. Did I not say it all the game? Like, the first half, again, wasn't bad. But as soon as he just started not calling or calling one way or the other, like, I just immediately started getting infuriated with this guy. Because that is Davide Massa. You just said that he got backed by the league somehow. So he's clearly politicized. He's got his hand on somebody's dick, essentially, is all it is.
And he is vigorously jerking it.
There's no one, like, give me a better explanation as to why this guy still has a job. Like, somewhere on the internet, the guy from UEFA that always copyright strikes us. Are you just some peon from India that just gets paid $5 to do this, or do you actually work for UEFA? Prove yourself. Let me know. Fucking travesty.
Hold on, here, I'll share the image too. I mean, you can clearly see this with the Yildiz.
It's the thumbnail. The thumbnail, you just look at our thumbnail and you'll see exactly what the hell it is.
You mean to tell me that and this image doesn't do it justice, right? He's not riding across the ball.
No.
He's not riding across the
he's
ball.
Not. No, that ball's in front of him.
The ball's in front of him. Yildiz pokes it in front. That right there, that is absolutely, like, granted, Yildiz is an extremely lucky individual that his leg wasn't planted on the ground.
Yeah,
if his leg's planted, that's snapped. Yeah. Easily snapped.
Give the guy 4 minutes and he snaps his leg. That almost happened.
That is nuts. How, because look, this foot touches the ball after he hits him. There is no, he rolled the ball into his leg. Even then, I've seen Chiesa get a red card for something a lot cheaper and stupider than that when it was his debut match against Crotone. This is insane to me as far as player safety goes. I don't even give a shit about the result. This is player safety. You are
Yeah.
literally a terrible tackle away from ending this poor kid's career. Like, that is insane to me how there's a blatant disregard for safety. And here's the funny thing. You're right fucking there. You are
And there's
legitimately
three dudes.
right there.
We clearly have the imagery here that the three idiots that work in the VAR room saw as well. They all paid off? Are they all retarded? Which one is it? Choose one.
Like, and then here's the other thing too. How do you miss this? Do you not see the ball's trajectory changing as it hits his hand?
Yeah, I mean that's not player safety. That's just a shit call.
That is a shit call, but this is more so me going at the VAR room.
Well, yes.
What are you guys doing?
They all
there?
suck. They all
like, are you guys
deserve to be
swiping?
put on the pyre.
Are you guys like swiping on Italian Tinder during the match or something like that, or Italian Bumble or Hinge? Like, what is that?
Goddamn circle jerk in the VAR room.
And don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I've got some smoke for Juve because Juve should have won this game easily. Easily.
They should have.
This
supposed
does
to be an easy day.
In my opinion, this doesn't change the match. Not at all. I'm not hanging the entire match on that handball call. I'm more so mad because Yildiz's career could have been ended from that tackle. And there was nothing? That's easily a one-match ban without any hesitation.
And they're probably not even going to look at it because it's Davide fucking Massa.
I understand. Sometimes like that, like the handball, I can understand the arguments pro and against. But when it's player safety like that, when we're taking that into effect, that to me is a fucking travesty when it comes to that. When especially Massara was right there when that happened, Malinowski wasn't making a play for the ball. He was making a play for Yildiz. He was trying to stop Yildiz off by any means necessary. Look, if he tugged on Yildiz or if his foot was in front and he tripped Yildiz, this is a different conversation. But me, going studs up is one of the most dangerous things you can do as a player. And you're making contact with his shin, which is insane. And what irritates me about Malinowski was Malinowski had the audacity to yell at Yildiz and say that he was diving, which I thought was insane. But look,
he's a piece of shit. I have no respect for him anymore. Not that I really had any reason to before. He was just I had neutral, I guess, respect for him. Now he can go fuck himself. Everyone we've mentioned by name, essentially. Not Yildiz, of course, but y'all can go fuck yourself. Shall we get into the game itself now?
Oh yeah.
All right, let's do it.
That was
only 13.
13 minutes. 13 minutes of Serie A. You guys need to be better. That's honestly it. In summary, I think they need to be better there.
Now
but
Juve need to be better as well. So
now Juve substantially need to be better. So going into the match, so Juve Genoa 1-1. Genoa does the kickoff glitch in the second half and gets an equalizer, and that was literally the only chance they created for the entire game was just that one big chance.
Cagliari did that today too, the kickoff glitch.
Yeah, but they ended up losing because Osimhen is an actual number 9, unlike ours.
Yeah.
So when we're looking at it, expected goals, we had a 0.67 compared to Genoa's 0.82. So the chances were floating. Unfortunately, we just couldn't put them away. Dominated possession, 57-43, more passes, more everything. Everything, honestly. The only thing that Genoa beat us in was chances missed. 0. They didn't miss any chances because they have one and they made it. Looking at the rankings, FOTMob rankings, they gave Chiesa an 8.7, which I thought was extremely generous. Dusan, the absolute chump on the pitch, has the lowest with a 6.0. You got Cambiasso with a 6.4, McKennie with a 6.9, Gatti with a 6.6, Locatelli with a 6.9, Bremer 7.3, Danilo 6.9, Beretti 6.5, Kostic 6.2. Is there anyone you want to single out individually, or? Do you have anything in particular? Because we can fucking make an entire video of how garbage Doosan is at this point. But like, just
All I will say about this. Sorry, as I tongue twist myself. His number was 9. That's how many times we calculated collectively, the watch along crowd, that he completely just messed it up in some way. I mean, sometimes he just failed to stay on his feet completely. Sometimes he shanked the ball completely the other direction when the net was right in front of him. It was 9, and that's a record. But if I was to single anyone else out, no, it's just everyone. The team didn't really show up. Not today, yesterday. They didn't show up yesterday.
no. Question is like we look at this, and I look at it again and again and again, and it's just for me, it's super frustrating how
mechanic is
how.
there
Oh,
like a
but I just look at this, and it's just kind of like how. And then same thing with Chiesa here as well. It's a little bit bigger. Look at this. All of this here. And what does Chiesa do? What he always does. Cuts to the left for no flippin' reason. Because this image doesn't do you much justice, but he actually tries to cross over to his left.
Now, I see a lot of apologists out on the Twitterverse trying to blame the midfield, and I understand. The Rabiot situation comes out, we miss Rabiot. AJ, of course, has a Rabiot apology form out on X. Regardless, when you're worth that much, Chiesa and Vlahovic, however much the price tag may be, they're sitters, and this isn't a one. We see this every weekend.
You're game changers. Great players make plays.
When we see this every single weekend, the lack of a cutting edge in clear-cut chances, at what point do you stop making the excuse for it?
You want to know a guy that has a cutting edge? A guy that actually is decisive? If you watch this game today, look at this.
That was
Receives
filthy.
it.
That was absolutely filthy.
Knee up.
today.
Knee up. Knee up. 3 guys. With his head. Carries. There's the 4th guy, by the way. Look at this. Still has the ball. Cuts through. All of these people on him. Crashing. Somehow gets off right to Krava.
He's just sitting there waiting for it.
teammate.
Because nobody's marking him because 5 dudes are on Oshiman. Now, okay, that's an extreme example. I'm not saying we have to have a striker like that.
Here's the thing. He was worth 90 million and worth every penny of it. Where we have this clown show of a 9 that we have that apparently needs to be spoon-fed. That apparently because Dragusin was affecting his back, that's why he shanked the shot. Guys, it is part of the game. As a center back, I'm supposed to throw you off balance. But you know what you're supposed to do if you're an elite striker? You find a way to put ball in net. That's all you do. Ball in net.
It's frustrating. That's what this is frustration by everyone. And because we're pretty positive guys typically when it comes to stuff, right? Everyone else will bitch, and I kind of feel bad about bitching so hard today, but when when a certain individual or couple of individuals get us to this point, I'm done making excuses.
My issue is the lack of maturity by our front two.
Mm-hmm.
That is for me a really big issue. Because, like, for example, let's go back to this play here. He has it. The keeper surging at him. Look who he has. Wide open right there for a tap in. All you got to do is just lay it off.
Just lay it off. But he probably doesn't trust him.
Well, and I get that. Like, I understand that. But that to me is just like, for example, in what world does a crossover to your left, to your weaker foot, do for you here? And this is one of the issues I've had with Federico Chiesa for a while now. No field IQ. And in my opinion, he's the leader of the front line, not Milik. Milik's not your leader. Milik is a guy that's there to get a check and score a couple of goals. He is your guy. He is your franchise player up top. And I've seen an insane amount of lapse of judgment from him in moments like this. Maybe it's, oh, yeah, it's in the game, it's different. But look, you have Dusan surging forward, and what Chiesa does, and even here, you can chip it. I would have been more happy if he chipped it and missed it. I would have been able to sleep at home. Not this.
So where did you sleep last night?
I had to sleep in the street. Because if you want to tell me he was trying to go for a finesse shot, absolutely not. He tries crossing over. See, he tries crossing over right there. At that instant right there, he tries crossing over. Because you can see the way that his body's positioned. Because if you're finessing, you're following through and you're going to the right. You're not following through like this if you're doing a finesse shot. That makes no sense. Physics-wise, it makes no sense. He tries crossing over to his left, and then this is a boneheaded move by him. Because you're going to have to take a heavy touch to explode, and where does the ball go? Right to this defender right there. Whereas, look, I understand that he's missing, but at this point, if he missed a shot from here, at that point, I would have just left him in Genoa. Because everyone keeps telling me, oh my goodness, Chiesa and Dusan, amazing chemistry, amazing synchronization. Those guys are an amazing tandem together. Really? Because it looks like Chiesa does not trust Dusan or even give a damn about him. Oh, but he kissed his forehead during the pen. Okay. Like, are we going to start evaluating celebrations now for player anything at this point? Because you look at this.
Yeah, they obviously like each other as friends, but on the pitch, they don't really care. They're individuals.
Like that to me was insane. This one, I don't really have that much complaint. I don't have much strife because Bremer is the one that's coming in trying to make a play here. And look, even with that Dusan chance, look what Bremer does. He puts his hip onto it just to put it on frame to give it a chance. Mm-hmm. Yes, the keeper ends up being there. It is what it is, but at least he's putting it on frame. He's not doing this.
Our defense has been the only bright spot in any of it, really. I thought Bremer was gonna save us there.
I did too. I mean, I understand we have a duck of playing at Genoa. I mean, it is one of the hardest stadiums to play, and you got to give credit to Genoa because Genoa has taken points away from top teams. Am I throwing the panic bus for the season? No, not really.
It's true. And we have not seen, at the time of recording, the intermatch versus Lazio, so we'll see what happens there. We're definitely not going to be in first at the end of this weekend. The best we can do is 1 point back. But it can now also be, what would it be, 4 points back if they win?
Yes, if they win, we go. No, we're up to, right now, it's 4 points, yep.
Yeah, so not the greatest. We'll see what happens. But it's certainly not panic time yet. We have a bit of space. We have lots of time. We really want to see the end of the month, the 18th game, the 50% mark, see where we're sitting. And then we'll evaluate that a little more calmly. Right now, I think just because of how things unfolded, because of Davide fucking Massa, that we're a little anxious because like the heart rate's going. Not because we're panicking because of the season so much, just because of hate, pure hate.
Yes. No, absolutely. It's just really difficult. It's frustrating, right? I mean, yes, if we look at it in the hindsight, the squad's is overperforming. It is. Yeah. However, when you start seeing consistent things, and for me, it's like if Dusan was a 20 million euro striker, like some nobody that we're taking a chance on, I'm not going to be going on him as hard. Same thing with Chiesa too. Chiesa was 60, Dusan was 85.
So we say this and that's the thing. What could we say different this week? You can't rag on the forwards. We can be disappointed in the midfields, especially Rabiot not showing up. and the defense being the only bright spot. Like, what else is different this week other than we tied instead of squeaking away 1-0?
They looked confused. They looked confused up top. Like, I think Rabiot not being there wasn't like, for example, Rabiot as a player, his player abilities, they were missed, right? Like, Moretti was getting physically thrown around. Like, absolutely. I think Moretti's too small. I think this, to me, kind of shows to me that Rabiot offers a little bit more verbal organization up top. Because this is where I have my frustrations with with Chiesa. Chiesa's 26 years old. He is the second oldest guy in the strike force, essentially. Rabiot's only older than him. When I see more leadership or more adult qualities in Rabiot than I see in Chiesa. And we've laughed at Rabiot because his mom's his agent and yada, yada, yada.
Sure.
But this game shows that Rabiot actually kind of pulls people together at his side, essentially on his end of the pitch, where Danilo holds the back line in the defensive phase of the ball. At this point, Danilo can't be the captain of the strikers and the captain of the back, like essentially, tell everyone what to do. Like it's not physically possible. You need a guy up top, and this is why I've advocated this for the longest time possible. You need an informed veteran striker. You've always needed one of those because this forward line is too raw and too inconsistent. And when we look at it, Chiesa's career, line of inconsistencies. Dusan as well, hot for 6 months, and then we don't even know if he's still around now. My thing, and this is what kind of irritates me with like some folks on the fan base, is like, why is there so many straw man arguments for this? Like, no one said that Dusan doesn't have talent, right? He's a professional athlete. He's got talent. He's got skills. But look, there's a couple of stats, and this is the dash stat sheet, what I look at. Finishing ability, heading ability, space creation, striking. You can be a 9 on all of those, but this last trait that I have, in my opinion, I think is one of the highest traits. Consistency and availability. A lot of people forget that as a statistic. You can be 9s across the board, but if you're a 1 here, you're essentially a home run batter with a terrible batting average. And from what I've seen with Chiesa and Dusan, I think Chiesa is more technically gifted than Dusan. They've got great stats there, but when it comes to consistency and availability, there's a lot left to be desired there. This is my issue with those two. You can say it's the tactics. You can say it's this. You can say, guys, there is no one clear answer. I do have my gripes with Allegri and how he's lining these guys up, and I don't think, in my opinion, and I'll get the board later, and I'll try to break something down for you, what I think Allegri should do. Whether or not he's going to do it is a different story, because I understand the negatives to it, but I think I have an idea for that. But there are some things that, yes, Allegri needs to do, but there's also some things that these guys in general need to do. Like, for example, if you're in a relationship, it's always 50-50. It takes 2 to tango. Like, if you leave the toilet seat up for your wife, she's going to bitch at you about it, and you're going to say, well, because I have this and this. There's always multiple facets to a situation, to a problem. One of the things that I'm trying to get through here is stop straw man arguing things. There is not one issue. There is a facet of issues, and I am seeing this on Twitter, and it's irritating the hell out of me because everyone's like, well, see, it can't all be the player's fault. No shit, Sherlock. What do you want, a fucking cookie? There's a it's a domino effect of issues.
She probably can't eat cookies, gluten or some shit.
Oh, good Lord,
I imagine.
I wasn't going to go there, but damn. It's a multifaceted issue. It's a domino effect. Okay, great. Strikers can't finish. That's the first domino. Second domino, oh, great. Our midfielders aren't the greatest at being able to create passes. That's the second domino. Okay, great. Now the coach has to figure out how to incorporate something with terrible open creative play from midfielders and terrible strikers. Third domino, boom. The only thing that's keeping the other dominoes from falling is essentially your back three, and that's it, or your wing backs as well. Right now, your creative outlet is McKennie and Cambiaso. Not Locatelli. Not Kostic. unless it's a corner kick that Bremer and those guys have to finish. Those are your main creative outlet, unless he decides to push up. There's a multifaceted issue. And like, for example, and people can get pissed at me, Illing came on and absolutely stunk the bed. I forgot he played. And then some folks are going to be like, well, yeah, he got rusty because he was riding the bench the entire time. Okay, do better at practice.
I really do feel that he isn't really fitting in with the squad. I think
not.
he might be moved if they can get.
I don't see how he gets incorporated. And I'm going to try to like taper myself a little bit. But I am not expecting Illing to bust onto the scene and pull some Del Piero shit. That's not my threshold for him. My threshold for him is transition the ball movement, interchange a little bit with the left wing back, try to get something going, invert how McKennie and Cambiaso are inverting. Because, guys, in practice, it's the A team versus the B team, and sometimes they alternate to get reps in with each other. These guys are playing against each other all the time in training. And if Illing's not breaking through, there's an issue with Illing as well. It is not 100% Allegri doesn't trust the youth, because I've debunked that argument, because the average age is about 25, 26 years old. Unless people want Allegri to play a full roster of 18-year-olds, that's not possible. Do I think that, he should have put in Yildiz instead of Milik? Absolutely. I agree with you there. Because I don't think Milik is that kind of guy, especially when you're trying to create or synchronize off of Chiesa. I don't view Milik as that guy. I view Milik as a guy you put in at a set piece and hope he sticks onto something. I don't have that high of an expectation for Milik. That's one of the things that I think Allegri got wrong. That he took way too long to make substitutions, way too long to make adjustments.
That's a very common argument from him as well.
It is. So, like, that's not like I'm not disagreeing with folks on there. I agree with it. However, we need to stop putting unproven youngsters on these pedestals that I've seen a lot of content creators do, where they're like, oh man, this guy's been riding the bench for there's a reason why players aren't playing. Unless there's like a physical disciplinary action towards it, you're not playing for a reason. What did we say about Gatti last season? He is not playing because he is not good at that time. What did Gatti do? Climbed his way up the depth chart.
He got good.
He got
a little lucky with injuries as well, but so has a lot of people.
But here's the thing. Luck is an opportunity in a sense. You're ready for it or you're not.
Oh, it is an opportunity, yeah.
So if someone's injured and you step into it and you dominate, cool, sayonara. We're not seeing you ever again, Alexandro. You can say, well, the threshold's not that high to beat Alexandro. He beat him and he beat Rugani. Because the second Danilo came back, where's Rugani? On the bench. He could easily put in Rugani instead of Gatti. But no, Gatti has shown and he's improved and he's stepped up his game. It's okay. Not all the youngsters are going to break through. It's normal. The idea is they get some minutes, they get some maneuverability going so they can, raise their value, and get some volume. Because personally, for me, my biggest concern is that we get these youngsters and they stink up or they don't play well, and then we have to sell them for $5 million like we did with Dragosin, who he came out with a vendetta in that match, an absolute vendetta.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Because if I'm Dusan Vlahovic, I am ashamed that guy manhandled me the whole match. That's insanity to me.
Typically, we're the ones doing that as of late. But this match, we were being manhandled quite a bit, and I was not enjoying it. It's not very nice to be on the receiving end of the manhandling.
So we can...
And it was also my boy Gatti, too. I got to say, Gatti got handled. But go on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So... I'm not throwing the panic button, by the way. There's no, panic in Turin, like we're losing our shit. If you look at all the top teams in Europe, 16, 17 matches, we're within the same spec of points earned as they are. It's fine. This season's not going to be hung about one foggy night in Genoa. It's not.
But it wasn't foggy. It just had a lot of
Fireworks.
pyrotechnics. Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to lose my shit over it.
No. But, I mean, shitty weekend. It happens. We must move on. There's just no way around it. We finally have a Saturday match at 6:30 in the morning. Oh, yeah. So, screw Fridays. We're going first thing Saturday morning now. We just have nobody cares about us apparently. Saturday, they wonder why they can't make TV deals, and it's probably because you put your best teams in the worst time slots. It was great having Torino Empoli at the Saturday afternoon slot tonight. It was, didn't even care that it was on. So, man, I'm cranky today. I got no reason to be cranky. It's the good news. Let's get to the good news.
Go for it.
Video games. It's the video games, of course. FC24. We are in Elite Division playoffs. And, by the time you guys are listening to this, we'll be playing. So you're going to miss this round. But say we really suck tonight and we got to do it again. We're going to need some help. So get into the Discord, join the FC teams, find us on FC24, just called the Turn Giants. Nice and easy. You can scan that barcode that's been hanging up there in the top left, the whole video, or go in the description and get that link. That is where the fun happens. It is Saturday night, so things are going to get freaky.
Depends. I was going to say depends on how plastered people are.
No, well, that Saturday night. One would assume that's going to be a good night. So we have fun. Everyone just kind of drops in as they can, as their schedule allows. We play throughout the week, kind of just organize everything through the Discord. People just drop a line and say, hey, you playing tonight? Yeah, let's do it. So it's kind of how it goes. So drop on in. Plus just all the other random banter that goes on in there. It's expanded so much in just the past month or two, the Discord, into so many different things. So much. There's so much. There's everything. So please do join in. And I promise it's a lot more fun than us cranky pants sitting on our front porch yelling at the kids right now.
It's pretty much, it sounds like what we're doing, right? Ironically. All right. So I'm going to bring out the board. You guys will laugh, but we shall bring out the board here. I'm going to draw something here what I think possibly could fix a little bit of our situation that we have, but I think I understand the drawbacks to it. So I'm going to re-sketch all of this because I forgot I still have Hans here instead of Loka.
Hans.
So we'll throw out the old tactical border-rooney here. So we'll just set up correctly here. And then you've been relegated to the bench, Sandro.
Oh, no. It's okay.
I'm going to, just for jokes and purposes, I'm going to keep Colin named as Kostic named as Colin, just for fun.
Jokes and purposes.
All right, so this is normally how we line up here. So we've got Dusan, Chiesa, Kostic, Rebbio, Locatelli, McKennie, Cambiaso, Gatti, Bremer, Danilo. So from what I've seen and what a lot of folks have seen is these are your three main attacking options when we're moving the ball. There is just nothing going on here. It's practically non-existent. So my idea is we swap these two. You tell him, occupy the left as much as possible. You stay on the right and synchronize with these guys because
you're basically telling Dusan to go be useless on the left with the rest of the guys.
In a way, yeah. The reason why, so let's set up this other roster here real quick. You know what? Let me see if I can change the view on this because I think that'll be a little bit better. So change background color, my collection, choose sport type, soccer. Let's do a half line here. Okay, cool. The reason why I'm saying it, so let's move. So this will be Gatti for all purpose and intent here.
Too bad he can't like put the halo around him.
I wish.
In God We
Fortunately,
trust.
yeah, Frankie would love that.
I gotta start working on that shirt too. By the way.
No, people will get pissed. It'll be funny though. No.
Who? Christians?
What was that? What was no? What was the number? Was Cambiaso 27?
Yeah.
So you have Cambiaso, and then we throw in Chiesa up here. All right, and then I need Dusan to be here. And then I'll throw Loca. Loca's going to be down here.
This is enthralling, let me tell you.
Oh, I know. I bet
Let me tell you. Maybe I need to tell a story.
You're throbbing hard right now watching me do this.
Somebody needs a story in between here. Maybe this is when I should have done the pitch for the Discord.
You can.
I just did it though.
You can do it again.
Do it again. Join the Discord. No, what you should really do this time is hit the subscribe button and the like button. And if anything tells you to hit the like button, it is right now watching Dash put numbers on a what do you call this? Whiteboard?
Tactical board.
Tactical board.
Yep.
And I got puppies losing their mind upstairs while we speak. That's my story. I got one puppy left. Only one. Staying till Christmas Eve. So now I got 4 puppies. 4 dogs.
All right. So I'm missing Danilo, but I'll just throw him here. Just put number 6. 6+. And then Bremer is not going to be on the graphic because Bremer's he always is the last man back. So one of the reasons why I think doing this is going to be a good idea, because so for example, for the most part, whenever you're in this situation here, this is the defenders. I'm going to try to pull defenders on marks here per se. So what the idea is here is normally how we do it is say that. So when we're doing an inversion here from the midfield, McKennie's going to go here, overlap Cambiaso, and run out wide. And then Cambiaso is going to go here, per se, in a sense, to go in, while Gatti's going to move forward with the ball. So what this does, this confuses 8 and 2 over here. Because McKennie's going this way, and Cambiaso's going this way. So 8 says, wait, who do I track? Because 7, if 7 goes here to try to track under McKennie, Loca comes in here, and you have a huge gaping space. So that they're essentially confused at that point, because the idea is Loca is not involved here. Loca is the recycling player. He recycles any loose balls or any tips of possession. So Loca's jurisdiction on this play that I would draw is this area here. So what Gatti needs to then do is Gatti needs to pull 7 off of him to give McKennie a free slot to the wing. And by the time 2 is able to adjust, because 2 is looking at Chiesa and Cambiaso both surging, and 8's going to be lagging. So then what McKennie will do is McKennie will receive the ball and essentially be here, while Chiesa's breaking forward here, while Cambiaso is also moving here. These guys are trying to track back. Chiesa's going to have the front step on him, and this is where I need Dusan to actually do his job and essentially force number 4 to occupy him and not join the play. If Dusan takes 4 out of the play, he does his job. The idea here is, do you see how we have a 3-on-2 in a sense? In theory. Because Gatti will go forward here, and then Loco will be here, so it'll essentially, you have to do it in one-touch passes. But with the ball being here, McKennie has 2 options. And what I would expect is Chiesa has him beat on the inside. All McKennie needs to do is put a ball here in this area here. So let me erase a lot of this so we don't get confused. The idea is McKennie needs to put the ball in this spot here, which then Chiesa has the entire width of the net to shoot. There's no cut-ins. He just has to shoot, right? Whereas, like, for example, if you put Chiesa here on this side of the pitch, prior to him doing anything, he has to take a touch and then cut in. There is no one-time shot at this point. Chiesa's a right foot, right? So the play here would be for him, because these guys are trying to crash in. Gatti's going to be here. So the idea is you have two options: either Chiesa taking the shot, or Cambiaso putting it over the top to Dusan right there. The drawback on why I think Allegri doesn't do this, because Rabiot's going to push up here, Kostic is going to push up here, so all these guys are going to try to track down here. The issue is you'll have Danilo right here, and then you just have Bremer by himself down here. I think this is too forward, because say that one of these two mess up the play, it's a quick shift and counterattack on the way back.
Are you doing all this for David because he wants to use it for university?
No, because no. I mean, he can if he wants, but I'm doing this.
Just stroke his ego. Tell him that you're doing it for him.
I'm doing this more so because, like, like, for example, a lot of people will whine or complain about things and not offer up a solution. Where here I'm like, okay, this is what I'm thinking that he needs to do. What Allegri needs to adjust here, because the idea is you need to switch Chiesa right now, because cutting in is not working for him. I don't care how many times people want to argue and tell me he's a left winger, put him on the left. He's on the left. He's on the left. I need Chiesa to hit one-timers. That's what I need him to do right now. Just take shots, because when you're coming in at this angle and you're shooting in this direction, so let's erase all this junk here, you have the entire face of the goal in a favorable angle. Whereas if you're coming in through the edge, so we'll erase all this because we're good with this. When you're shooting from here, you have to loop it. You have to go up and over, essentially. You can't go direct. Why? Because most of the time your goalkeeper is going to stop it. So why, and folks here that are strikers that are listening, if I'm a right-footed striker coming in on the right, where do people tell you to hit it? Opposite corner. Opposite corner, because you'll have that shot every single time. So when someone like Chiesa, who is a sharpshooter, you put Chiesa on this side where he has a more optimal chance in scoring. Because the reason is when Chiesa receives the ball in this side of the field, you can't go direct, because he's not left-footed. You can't. So it doesn't work for him there. He has to adjust, and then it's a longer path of travel. Because this line here, this straight across line, is going to happen every single time. There is never an instance that Chiesa's not going to have to deal with that line. The only time that Chiesa is never going to have to deal with that line is if Chiesa's marked here and he has a tap into the corner. But Chiesa doesn't play in the box. Chiesa plays out here. He plays here. Here, this area here is where Chiesa lives on the left. So to go towards net, what do you have to do? Cut in and then go around. Whereas if I have Chiesa here and have Chiesa operate in this area here, the ball can come in from this direction, and it can come in from this direction. And all Chiesa has to do, aim for the bottom corner. Because the reason why I'm saying this, if Chiesa aims for the bottom corner, say that you hit a post or you hit something or you barely miss it, Dusan's there. The only issue is whether or not he can finish. That's a different conversation. But if you're a genuine poacher, if you're a good poacher, you occupy this space right here. And that's all you need to do, is occupy that space as Dusan's role, and he can clean up for Chiesa. But my main argument and the main thing I'm trying to sell you guys on, and I don't know if it's going to save it here or not, but we can try. Yes, it saved it. In my opinion, if we want to see something different happen, and I don't know what goes on behind the scenes, this switch has to happen. You have to tell Dusan, stay on the left side. Chiesa's going to be coming in through the ball. I don't know the specifics of what goes on in training. This is me giving you a bird's eye view and understanding from if I was the coach of Juventus, if I was Massimiliano Allegri, this is what I want to do. right now, these three are your main ball movers. These are going to be your main playmakers on the edge. Because right now, nothing is coming from this side. Nothing. You might get a loose ball where with Kostic being able to follow through with a cross, maybe. But as far as proper development, proper synchronization, and proper moving, not happening on the left side. So at this point, Juve need to figure out, you need to utilize their strengths. This is what they're strong in. They're strong with Cambiasso and McKennie inverting with each other, also with Gatti being incorporated into the attack. You send those guys to create plays. You have them push forward. You have Locatelli cover the defensive roles, are essentially the garbage balls, and you have Rabiot that covers Locatelli's left. And then you have Kostic that also essentially covers in this position. You want these three essentially in this line position because then it gives you triangular options. So I'm able to form all these triangles between the three.
It makes your left side completely useless, so you're more predictable. That would be
At this point, so here's where I debate the predictability, Dave. You're not going through one option. So like if you look at the network of triangles that I've set up, that's a plethora of pathways they can go through. The issue is, I think at this point, abandon the left side. The left side's not working.
Screw the left. All right, let's go right.
I made that super political without even meaning to.
Colin's like, yeah,
Let's go.
the left.
And this is where, and I think this is where Dusan can essentially get his mojo back, right? Dusan needs to understand that the play right now, for the play to be perfect, it should not roll through him. It shouldn't. Let me switch keys with McKennie here because that was an issue. But like, for example, draw this and draw that. So you see how I have this essential diagram here. People are going to yell at me and be like, oh my gosh, you're making McKennie the main stable point of this. Well, right now it's either him, it interchanges between him and Cambiasso. Either or, it works. This is what I'm thinking the ideal setup is going to be if they want to succeed properly here. Because now Chiesa essentially synchronizes with this guy over here. Because now when you have Chiesa surging forward here, he can cut in here still and be able to fire something with his left, or he can do a nice driven shot to the corner. It gives Chiesa more options, in my opinion. So if they're able to adjust this and do this, I think they might see something different. So Allegri, if you're watching, hire me on your technical staff. I'm looking for a gig. But I think if they experiment it or try switching, and this is going to be on Chiesa and Dusan on whether or not their egos are going to allow them to do that. Because right now, Chiesa and Dusan are playing as inverted strikers. Because Dusan's on the left. Or no, Chiesa's on the left, and he has a right foot. Dusan's on the right with a left foot. So the idea is that they're both inverting in to take shots. My opinion, not bueno. It's not good at all for your strikers to do that. You want to have strikers on their side, their comfortable shooting side, shooting at the opposite side of the net. Aim for the corners. Any coach, any top-level coach will tell you the best way to utilize a striker's maximum capabilities, put them on the same side, aim for the opposite side of the net. That is how they start building consistency and form. Because they have the ability. They both do. If I said that they are both, talentless hacks, that would be disingenuous of me. They're professional athletes. Do they need to do better? Absolutely. Absolutely, they need to do better. But this is, again, this is where I'm looking at it from two perspectives. I think Allegri needs to adjust it to put them in a better position to succeed. That is where I need to tell Allegri, dude, get your head out of your ass because what you're doing right now isn't working properly. We need to make an adjustment. And that is my TED Talk. And Dave is about to fall asleep.
Oh, man. That was a deep dive for sure. If you are still awake like me, no, I think that covers all the angles, and it covers us yelling at things. It covers us yelling at things some more, and a very educational tactical breakdown by Dash.
That's like the awkward, like, oh yeah, we did this, but alrighty though. Dave, do you have any final thoughts, or do you want me to close this bad boy, this little conversation off? I think we need to tease Festivus, right?
We gotta. I love a good tease. You know me. We gotta We have to have a good tease. So no, we did kind of tease it yesterday, but we will continue to yell about it throughout the week because on Saturday, December the 23rd, it is Festivus, and we will be having our annual Festivus special, which is when we invite everyone. Whether we like them or not, we're going to invite them just to see if they say yes. But it's all the friends of the channel, whether they're fellow content creators, just the other guys from the channel, like Farhad or Zaki, whoever.
They say they'll show, but we don't even know if they'll show.
We'll see. We'll see. Maurizio from Around Turn might show up. We got the guys from the Lions Den, the guys from All Things Elvalade. We got Jonathan Gray, the author, the buck behind me in my background. We got a few guys. We got a few guys showing up. It's just going to be a fun time. It's going to be banter. We're going to shoot the shit. We're going to air the grievances. So, again, guys, if you have not seen Seinfeld, please watch at least the Festivus special so you understand what's going on. It might be a little bit boomery, but play with me here. Humor me, and go with it. And do please join us. We're going to kick this one off at 4 p.m. Eastern. That's 10 Central European. Just so everyone that is in Europe that wants to join in, it's not going to be super late. They can still get in right at the beginning and maybe pop off. And then everyone here in North America can then roll in a bit later on when it makes more sense for them to do so. So that's it. It's just a night of fun. I'm in search of a metal pole right now. And I mean, I gotta start decorating. I gotta find the metal pole. I gotta put it up, and that's Saturday. So, but we remember as well, it's imperative that you pay attention because Saturday is also that 6:30 a.m. match, which means you gotta wake up early, watch the game with us, do the whole shenanigans, do the call-in show, and then we're gonna go back to bed, and then come back later that evening and do the Festivus special. I hope I go back to bed because
I hope he says. I hope.
So that's the plan going forward, guys. On that note, Dash, yes, please do take it away.
Alrighty. Well, hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to the day after the Studs Up edition where we rant a little bit, but we also try to give some constructive takes per se instead of just, this sucks. Wah. Look.
I cried a little bit, I'll be honest.
He did. He threw darts at Masso's face. But look, guys, at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world. Shit isn't burning down. Are we frustrated? Yeah, we're frustrated, but it is a marathon, not a sprint. As cliche as that sounds, we'll be good. You guys be good. And we will catch you on the Tinfoil Hat Show because we need some stuff for you guys to submit for us. So throw your recommendations on things you want us to cover. And on that note, we shall see you Wednesday.
Good night, everyone. Or the FC teams.